What is up, guys? What a great day to be grateful. Thank you guys so much for hopping on this video today. My goal is to answer some of those questions that are tricky in the world of fitness. I guess you could say that this video is answering those fitness and health questions and knowledge I have gained through research and nutrition. Now, the first question that I want to kind of answer in my words: how much do I need to work out? So the CDC specifically recommends 150 minutes of exercise. I recommend exercise anything that can get your heart rate up above 115. Now, I don't know the research on that, but that is what I consider for myself. On my Fitbit, when I get my active minutes, it always hits after it gets, I think, above 115. So that's how I judge my fitness. If you work out 5 days a week, that's at least 30 minutes of activity each of those days. I usually work out about 45 minutes up to an hour, 6 days a week. That is not always active minutes though. Some of that is walking on the treadmill, which is very, very low intensity. Some of that is low weight, activation, mobility exercise, stretching. I believe it usually hits to be about 30 minutes of when my heart rate is really, really active in a given day. And then on my rest day, I usually still try to walk and do things, but I never try and really get my heart rate up that high. I always recommend to people to get a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or any type of exercise watch where you can keep up with your heart rate and your steps in a given day, because some people think they're active and they're not, or not and they are. And you don't really know if you don't have a way to judge those numbers. I have on my Fitbit where it gives me an award for hitting over 22 minutes of activity each day. And then it also rewards me when I get over 150 minutes of activity in a given week. So I get those little positive reinforcements on my watch, and it definitely helps motivate me to push for those exercise goals in a given week. Now, when it comes to HIIT, high intensity interval training, so this is very intense workout. This research looked at high intensity versus low intensity and wanted to just kind of see what each of them did. This was a 12-month intervention, so this is it's a year-long research that they looked at. The study had 250 people in it. 42% of those people did HIIT work, the HIIT control group, and the other one did moderate. So they were in moderate intensity. So it was almost about half and half for each group. The moderate intensity training was 30 minutes of exercise per day, but this could be anything from gardening, walking, biking, any just moderate activity. And then the HIIT group did 3 days of intense activity. Now, there was actually no statistical significance in the actual physical results of the body visceral fat. It was reported that people who did the HIIT workouts enjoyed it more in the 12-month period than those who did not. So mentally, I guess they enjoyed it more, but physically they had the same results. What I take from this is it's not necessary to have those high intensity workouts. If that's something that you enjoy, then do it. I myself, and everybody's different, and I think that's what this study showed, I enjoy really focusing in on what I'm training. Sometimes it ends up being very high intensity, especially legs for some reason, but sometimes my heart rate doesn't get even up super, super high when I'm doing my arm workouts. I want to enjoy it, and I want it to be slow, and I want to be able to feel the activation in those muscles. I'm going to continue to doing what I'm doing, which is 5 to 6 days of training a week and about 30 to 45 minutes of intense, moderate to intense in those workouts. Now, at least 2 to 3 times a week, I do a stair climber, pretty intense, 10 to 20 minutes, just depending on the day and what I have time to do. I don't like to overdo that because I think overdoing cardio and high intensity cardio-based things too many times a week can definitely affect the results of your muscle gain and your energy, your ability to perform the next day. So when I was going through certain treatments, I did speak with a nutritionist on a weekly basis, and she gave me the best advice when it came to kind of your cravings. So how do you deal with your cravings? Essentially, when can you eat those junk foods? So she told me if I'm dealing with sweet cravings, the best time to eat those is right before and right after working out. Essentially, your body, before you work out, getting those carbohydrates in your body is very important. You also can get that quick energy from your quick sugars and carbs. So having sugar right before you go work out will give you the energy, and you'll most likely use that energy while you're working out. So it's not going to affect your body as if you're eating it, you know, at midnight before you went to bed. Sometimes I'll get a sugary protein bar to eat before or after my workout. Sometimes I'll have that sweet smoothie when I get home after my workout, because I don't feel as guilty having a lot of that sugar before or after working out. Find something in that in between, right? So something that may have a little bit of sugar, but that's not crazy. So definitely, you know, find those little things that aren't terrible for you, that might have some more sugar than you would usually have. And so you're not feeling like guilty and you're not gonna indulge completely, but it's that good middle ground to where it's still a nice little treat for you. So this is another question that I hear a lot, like, do I actually need to stretch? Like, what is that actually doing in my exercise life? So one thing I have been doing is I've been doing mobility stretching and incorporating a little bit of normal stretching with it. I'm also gonna show you this research that I did find. The name of this research is Stretching Exercises Enhance Vascular Endothelial Function. I said that wrong, so that nerd out there, I'm sorry. And improve peripheral circulation in patients with acute myocardial infarction. I just wanted to read the name because I I saw this article, I was like, oh, what does this mean? It was trying to look at the effects of stretching exercises on your vascular function. This study took 32 patients and 5 different types of stretching exercises, and each exercise entailed 30-second stretching followed by 30-second relaxation. This article shows that adding regular stretching to your routine can help improve circulation, which can ultimately shorten your workout recovery time and reduce delayed onset muscle soreness. Long story short, I'm glad someone dumbed it down for me because I still don't understand those words. Which mainly means that yes, if you stretch, it is gonna help you. It's gonna help with your recovery. It's gonna help with your circulation. If you're only working out a couple times a week because you're always so sore, maybe stretch more. That might not be the only reason why maybe you're overdoing it. Definitely think about that next time that you go to the gym. You know, just stretch a little bit. Okay, so keto. Is this legitimate, right? There's just this whole thing. Now, ketosis, essentially, I don't want to even get into all the research. I'm not against people who do it and they find results out of it. What is keto, right? It's removing carbohydrates from your daily diet. Not completely, but definitely lowering them to a very small number so your body can use fat as energy, okay? So it's using fat, so you need more fat because that's where your energy is coming from. What I'm gonna tell you is why I incorporate carbs in my diet. And maybe this will give you a good opinion on carbs itself, because one reason why people do keto diets is because they're scared of the word carb. Now, carbs are good for you, especially if you're working out, okay? This is why. I'm gonna show you some research right now. Studies have shown that using multiple carbohydrates, it reduces fatigue and improves exercise performance. So the reason why I say all this is I just want you, especially if you go to the gym on a regular basis, have these things in mind when you're thinking of the word keto or low carb. Think, what does it actually do for me? Can it be good? And can it help or will it hinder my progress? Now, I did want to kind of look at specific carbs because carbs is a big word, right? Bread is a carb, as well as sugar, as well as sweets. From my understanding, especially from research that I looked at, I was looking at the difference between like fructose and glucose, which is what you hear the most. Now, from my understanding, fructose, and I'm not a scientist, disclaimer, I have only gotten this from articles and research and a few things I've read and things I've learned over time, but fructose is your fruit sugar. It is basically just like, it's the sweet stuff, right? Glucose is more of your essential carb. They call it like the building block of carbohydrates. So this is your breads and your whole grains and things like that. Some have both. A lot of breads have sugar in it actually. So now I read in specifically in regards to doing fructose or fructose glucose together and the importance of complex carbs when it comes to exercise. And there was a better result in people who did fructose and glucose rather than one or the other in a research. So if you guys ever hear me talking about the importance of why I do oatmeal and fruit, because I like the slow digesting and I like the quick access to those carbs, I love oatmeal and fruit as a pre-workout. I think it's amazing. And there's even, you can incorporate, if you do that Greek yogurt with it, you've got your protein. So it's perfect. It's the best. I always feel so energized, but not like overly like bloaty from all of the carbs when I have that meal. I think it's a very important meal at the end of the day. If there are any other specific questions that you would like me to answer that I don't mind doing the research for, I don't mind sitting down and really figuring out what the world has to say about it, definitely ask me. I love learning more too. I am gonna go ahead and wrap this up. It's just some stuff I wanted to share with you guys this week. I do hope you have a great week. And thank you so much for watching all the way through. I always say you're a champ. Either you skip to the end or you are a champ. So thank you for helping me continue to be a part of this small journey. Every week I have been seeing more and more people join in. So I hope you all guys have a great day and don't forget to be grateful as well. Bye.